The realization of supreme knowledge and conduct occurs when you've given up such things. But what, Master Gotama, is that conduct? And what is that knowledge? Ambata, it's when a realized one arises in the world, perfected, a fully awakened Buddha, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, holy, knower of the world, supreme guide for those who wish to train, teacher of gods and humans, awakened, blessed. He has realized with his own insight this world, with its gods, maras and brahmas. This population with its ascetics and Brahmins, gods and humans, and he makes it known to others. He teaches Dhamma that's good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end, meaningful and well phrased. And he reveals a spiritual practice that's entirely full and pure. A householder hears that teaching, or a householder's child, or someone reborn in some clan. They gain faith in the realized one and reflect. Quite secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unskillful qualities, they enter and remain in the first absorption. This pertains to their conduct. Furthermore, as the placing of the mind and keeping it connected are stilled, a mendicant enters and remains in the second absorption. This pertains to their conduct. Furthermore, with the fading away of rapture, they enter and remain in the third absorption. This pertains to their conduct. Furthermore, giving up pleasure and pain, and ending former happiness and sadness, they enter and remain in the fourth absorption. This pertains to their conduct. This is that conduct. When their mind has become immersed in samadhi like this, purified, bright, spotless, rid of taints, pliable, workable, steady and imperturbable, they extend it and project it toward knowledge and vision. This pertains to their knowledge. They understand there is no return to any state of existence. This pertains to their knowledge. This is that knowledge. This mendicant is said to be accomplished in knowledge, and also accomplished in conduct, and also accomplished in knowledge and conduct. And Ambata, there is no accomplishment in knowledge and conduct that is better or finer than this. Section 5. 4 drains. There are these 4 drains that affect this supreme knowledge and conduct. What for? Firstly, take some ascetic or Brahmin who, not managing to obtain this supreme knowledge and conduct, plunges into a wilderness region, carrying their stuff with a shoulder pole, thinking they will get by eating fallen fruit. In fact, they succeed only in serving someone accomplished in knowledge and conduct. This is the first drain that affects this supreme knowledge and conduct. Furthermore, take some ascetic or Brahmin who, not managing to obtain this supreme knowledge and conduct, or to get by eating fallen fruit, plunges into a wilderness region carrying a spade and basket, thinking they will get by eating tubers and fruit. In fact, they succeed only in serving someone accomplished in knowledge and conduct. This is the second drain that affects this supreme knowledge and conduct. Furthermore, take some ascetic or Brahmin who, not managing to obtain this supreme knowledge and conduct, or to get by eating fallen fruit, or to get by eating tubers and fruit, sets up a fire chamber in the neighborhood of a village or town and dwells there, serving the sacred flame. In fact, they succeed only in serving someone accomplished in knowledge and conduct. This is the third drain that affects this supreme knowledge and conduct. Furthermore, take some ascetic or Brahmin who, not managing to obtain this supreme knowledge and conduct, or to get by eating fallen fruit, or to get by eating tubers and fruit, or to serve the sacred flame, sets up a fire chamber in the central square and dwells there, thinking, when an ascetic or Brahmin comes from the 4 quarters, I will honor them as best I can. In fact, they succeed only in serving someone accomplished in knowledge and conduct. This is the 4th drain that affects this supreme knowledge and conduct. These are the 4 drains that affect the supreme knowledge and conduct. What do you think, Ambata? Is this supreme knowledge and conduct seen in your own tradition? No, Master Gotama. Who am I and my tradition compared with the supreme knowledge and conduct? We are far from that. What do you think, Ambata? Since you're not managing to obtain this supreme knowledge and conduct, have you, with your tradition, plunged into a wilderness region carrying your stuff with a shoulder pole, thinking you will get by eating fallen fruit? No, Master Gotama. What do you think, Ambata? Have you, with your tradition, plunged into a wilderness region carrying a spade and basket, thinking you will get by eating tubers and fruit? No, Master Gotama. What do you think, Ambata? Have you, with your tradition, set up a fire chamber in the neighbourhood of a village or town and dwelt there serving the sacred flame? No, Master Gotama. What do you think, Ambata? Have you, with your tradition, set up a fire chamber in the central square and dwelt there, thinking, when an ascetic or Brahmin comes from the 4 quarters, I will honour them as best I can? No, Master Gotama. So you, with your tradition, are not only inferior to the supreme knowledge and conduct, you are even inferior to the 4 drains that affect the supreme knowledge and conduct. But you have been told this by your teacher, the Brahmin Pokarasati. Who are these shavelings, fake ascetics, riffraff, black spawn from the feet of our kinsmen, compared with conversation with the Brahmins of the 3 knowledges? Yet he himself has not even fulfilled one of the drains. See, Ambata, how your teacher Pokarasati has wronged you. Section 6. Being like the sages of the past. But Pokarasati lives off an endowment provided by King Pasenadi of Kosala, but the king won't even grant him an audience face to face. When he consults, he does so behind a curtain. Why wouldn't the king grant a face-to-face audience with someone who'd receive his legitimate presentation of food? See, Ambata, how your teacher Pokarasati has wronged you. What do you think, Ambata? Suppose King Pasenadi was holding consultations with warrior chiefs or chieftains while sitting on an elephant's neck or on horseback, or while standing on the mat in a chariot. And suppose he'd get down from that place and stand aside. Then along would come a worker or their bondservant who'd stand in the same place and continue the consultation. This is what King Pasenadi says, and this too is what the king says. Though he spoke the king's words and gave the king's advice, does that qualify him to be the king or the king's minister? No, Master Gotama. In the same way, Ambata, the Brahmin seers of the past were Attaka, Vamaka, Vamadeva, Vesamita, Yamadagi, Angirasa, Bharadvaja, Vaseta, Kassapa, and Bhagu. They were the authors and propagators of the hymns, whose hymnal was sung and propagated and compiled in ancient times. These days, Brahmins continue to sing and chant it. They continue chanting what was chanted and teaching what was taught. You might imagine that since you've learned their hymns by heart in your own tradition, that makes you a hermit, or someone on the path to becoming a hermit. But that is not possible. What do you think, Ambata? According to what you have heard from elderly and senior Brahmins, the teachers of teachers, did those Brahmin hermits of the past, nicely bathed and anointed, with hair and beard dressed, bedecked with jewels, earrings and bracelets, dressed in white, amuse themselves, supplied and provided with the 5 kinds of sensual stimulation, like you do today in your tradition? No, Master Gotama. Did they eat boiled fine rice, garnished with clean meat, with the dark grains picked out, served with many soups and sauces, like you do today in your tradition? No, Master Gotama. Did they amuse themselves with girls wearing thongs that show off their curves, like you do today in your tradition? No, Master Gotama. Did they drive about in chariots drawn by mares with plaited manes, whipping and lashing them onward with long goads, like you do today in your tradition? No, Master Gotama. Did they get men with long swords to guard them in fortresses with moats dug and barriers in place, like you do today in your tradition? No, Master Gotama. So, Ambata, in your own tradition, you are neither hermit nor someone on the path to becoming a hermit. Whoever has any doubt or uncertainty about me, let them ask me, and I will clear up their doubts with my answer. Section 7. Seeing the Two Marks. Then the Buddha came out of his dwelling and proceeded to begin walking meditation, and Ambata did likewise. Then, while walking beside the Buddha, Ambata scrutinized his body for the 32 marks of a great man. He saw all of them except for two which he had doubts about, whether the private parts are retracted and the largeness of the tongue. Then it occurred to the Buddha, this Brahmin student Ambata sees all the marks except for two, which he has doubts about, whether the private parts are retracted and the largeness of the tongue. Then the Buddha used his psychic power to will that Ambata would see his retracted private parts, and he stuck out his tongue and stroked back and forth on his ear holes and nostrils and covered his entire forehead with his tongue. Then Ambata thought, the ascetic Gotama possesses the 32 marks completely, lacking none. He said to the Buddha, Well now, sir, I must go. I have many duties and much to do. Please, Ambata, go at your convenience. Then Ambata mounted his mare-drawn chariot and left. Now at that time the Brahmin Pokarasati had come out from Ukata together with a large group of Brahmins, and was sitting in his own park just waiting for Ambata. Then Ambata entered the park. He went by carriage as far as the terrain allowed, then descended and approached the Brahmin Pokarasati on foot. He bowed and sat down to one side, and Pokarasati said to him, I hope, dear Ambata, you saw Master Gotama. I saw him, sir. Well, does he live up to his reputation or not? He does, sir. Master Gotama possesses the 32 marks completely, lacking none. And did you have some discussion with him? I did. And what kind of discussion did you have with him? Then Ambata informed Pokarasati of all they had discussed. Then Pokarasati said to Ambata, Oh, our bloody fake scholar, our fake expert, our fake student of the 3 Vedas. A man who behaves like this ought, when their body breaks up after death, to be reborn in a place of loss, a bad place, the underworld, hell. It's only because you repeatedly attacked Master Gotama like that he kept bringing up charges against us. Angry and upset, he kicked Ambata over and wanted to go and see the Buddha right away. Section 8. Pokarasati visits the Buddha. Then those Brahmins said to Pokarasati, It's much too late to visit the ascetic Gotama today. You can visit him tomorrow. So Pokarasati had a variety of delicious foods prepared in his own home. Then he mounted a carriage and, with attendants carrying torches, set out from Ukata for the forest near Ichanagala. He went by carriage as far as the terrain allowed, then descended and entered the monastery on foot. He went up to the Buddha and exchanged greetings with him. When the greetings and polite conversation were over, he sat down to one side and said to the Buddha, Master Gotama, has my pupil, the student Ambata, come here? Yes, he has, Brahmin. And did you have some discussion with him? I did. And what kind of discussion did you have with him? Then the Buddha informed Pokarasati of all they had discussed. Then Pokarasati said to the Buddha, Ambata is a fool, Master Gotama. Please forgive him. May the student Ambata be happy, Brahmin. Then Pokarasati scrutinized the Buddha's body for the 32 marks of a great man. He saw all of them except for 2, which he had doubts about, whether the private parts are retracted and the largeness of the tongue. Then it occurred to the Buddha, Pokarasati sees all the marks except for 2, which he has doubts about, whether the private parts are retracted and the largeness of the tongue. Then the Buddha used his psychic power to will that Brahmayu would see his retracted private parts. And he stuck out his tongue and stroked back and forth on his ear holes and nostrils and covered his entire forehead with his tongue. Pokarasati thought, the ascetic Gautama possesses the 32 marks completely, lacking none. He said to the Buddha, "Would Master Gautama, together with the mendicant Sangha, please accept today's meal from me?" The Buddha consented in silence. Then, knowing that the Buddha had accepted, Pokarasati announced the time to him. "It's time, Master Gautama, the meal is ready." Then the Buddha robed up in the morning, and taking his bowl and robe, went to the home of Pokarasati, together with the mendicant Sangha, where he sat on the seat spread out. Then Pokarasati served and satisfied the Buddha with his own hands with a variety of delicious foods, while his students served the Sangha. When the Buddha had eaten and washed his hand and bowl, Pokarasati took a low seat and sat to one side. Then the Buddha taught him step by step with a talk on giving, ethical conduct, and heaven. He explained the drawbacks of sensual pleasures, so sordid and corrupt, and the benefit of renunciation. And when the Buddha knew that Pokarasati's mind was ready, pliable, and rid of hindrances, joyful and confident, he explained the special teaching of the Buddhas, suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path. Just as a clean cloth rid of stains would properly absorb dye, in that very seat, the stainless, immaculate vision of the Dharma arose in the Brahmin Pokarasati. Everything that has a beginning has an end. Section 9. Pokarasati declares himself a lay follower. Then Pokarasati saw, attained, understood, and fathomed the Dhamma. He went beyond doubt, got rid of indecision, and became self-assured and independent of others regarding the teacher's instructions. He said to the Buddha, "Excellent, Master Gautama, excellent," as if he were writing the overturned, or revealing the hidden, or pointing out the path to the lost, or lighting a lamp in the dark so people with good eyes can see what's there. Just so has Master Gautama made the teaching clear in many ways. Together with my children, wives, retinue, and ministers, I go for refuge to Master Gautama, to the teaching, and to the mendicant Sangha. From this day forth, may Master Gautama remember me as a lay follower who has gone for refuge for life. Just as Master Gautama visits other devoted families in Ukata, may he visit mine. The Brahmin boys and girls there will bow to you, rise in your presence, give you a seat and water, and gain confidence in their hearts. That will be for their lasting welfare and happiness. That's good of you to say, householder.